Crane sent the manuscript to Lois Cole, an editor at G.P. Putnam's Sons, who was best known for having discovered Margaret Mitchell, author of Gone with the Wind. Lee had very real promise, Cole thought, but the novel was thin. "There is not very much story, or plot, or suspense," she wrote, "and the last 100 pages do resolve into a series of debates, which are certainly sound and well expressed, but still debates. It seems to us that people can be and should be instructed, but that they will take it better if it is all accomplished by a real story." She asked Crane to send her Lee's second novel if he failed to place this first one. She included with her letter an application for the new campus writing fellowship, in case Lee wanted help with her next book. 5 days later, Crane sent Watchman to Evan Thomas at Harper & Brothers, pitching it as an eye-opener for many Northerners as to Southern attitudes and the reasons for them in the segregation battle. Thomas, a Princeton graduate and the son of the 6-time Socialist Party presidential candidate Norman Thomas, had recently published Profiles in Courage by the young Massachusetts Senator John F. Kennedy, which would win the Pulitzer Prize the following month. Lee was a good writer, damned good, Thomas told Crane over the phone, but the novel didn't have enough story. He wished that Lee wouldn't put her heroine in trousers. Somehow having her wear pants just rubs me the wrong way. Neither did he like how the character cursed her father. But Lee had potential indeed, and like Cole, Thomas asked Crane to send him Lee's next book if this one didn't sell. Crane kept after it, sending the book to Lynn Carrick at J.B. Lippincott on May 13th. Meanwhile, since finishing the draft of Watchman, Nell, intent on making the most of her year of artistic freedom, had started a new novel. It grew out of the childhood stories that she had initially shown Crane. The best of those, in Crane's opinion, had been Snow on the Mountain, about a boy who takes out his frustration with the elderly neighborhood shrew by destroying her flowers. Another, The Cat's Meow, Lee had revised in January and given back to Crane when she had passed along the first 50 pages of Watchmen. By mid-May, Nell had decided to incorporate these 2 stories into her new novel. 2 weeks later, Nell gave Crane the first 111 pages of a manuscript that she had titled The Long Goodbye. She kept writing, and in roughly another 2 weeks, on June 13th, Crane sent Carrick a complete version of this new second novel. "This childhood stuff is wonderfully appealing," Crane wrote. "Possibly this longer and more substantial book would make a better starter than the one you have. She says this could go on and on." Crane advised Lee to keep writing, and eventually she could drop out the duller stuff, holding the book to around 350 or 400 pages. Lee planned to break the novel off after the brother character entered high school, leaving the 4-year younger sister to a lonely childhood. It seems that this second novel, which grew out of Lee's short stories, is the one that would eventually become To Kill a Mockingbird. The book focused on the childhood and earlier lives of the characters that she had written about in Watchmen. In July 1957, Nell described to Joy and Michael Brown how frustrated she had become trying to merge the 2 books. It was Crane who explained to her that this was a fool's errand and that she should go ahead and finish the childhood novel. Then later she could write a bridge novel that would flow into Watchmen. He showed her sections of a novel in progress by Bonner Macmillan, another writer with whom he worked, whose fiction was set in the small-town South, and who, like Lee, had the ability to create living characters and to recall childhood scenes and moods with complete clarity, with the same gentle underlying humor which adds charm to the telling. Lee loved the passages from Macmillan's work. It hadn't seemed feasible to her at first to divide the material into separate books and let the childhood novel stand on its own. But then she found herself doing